is now proactively identifying domestic terrorists based on beliefs MAGA doesn't like, before a crime has ever been committed. That's what Trump's latest budget request to Congress reveals. After Charlie Kirk was killed, Trump used his death to justify expanding surveillance through his NSPM 7 directive. The order replaced the FBI's post-9/11 terrorism screening center with a new one, expanding potential domestic terrorism investigations by 300%, based on people's thoughts and opinions. The threatening thoughts, though, are just ideas MAGA disagrees with, beliefs and views protected by the First Amendment. But the Trump admin has unilaterally begun labeling those who hold these beliefs as Antifa terrorists, potentially allowing the government to access suspected citizens' communications without a warrant. And now Trump's latest budget request contains the biggest counterterrorism spending increase in years for this exact mission, to combine the power of 10 agencies to continue identifying those who disagree with their opinions on religion, gender, and capitalism. This isn't about left versus right. It's about how much power the federal government holds over us. If we continue to let the government decide which thoughts and opinions are acceptable and which make you a criminal suspect, we've already given up our constitutional freedoms.
Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. What this woman essentially just said, it took me a second to just do some more research on top of what she just said, but there's a very good possibility. And I don't even want to say possibility. I'm just going to say it. The reason why they got rid of Charlie Kirk is the same reason why that they lied to us about 9/12. You know what 9/12, the day before 9/12, I'll say. You know, all of that was fake. But why did they orchestrate the day before 9/12? Do you guys remember what happened after the day before 9/12? And the reason why 9/12 was choreographed? Right after 9/12, Homeland Security became more powerful because they put together something called the Patriot Act. And right after 9/12, the day before 9/12, the Patriot Act was enacted. And I remember I was selling cars at some point, and my manager would give us a piece of paper that would say, because of the Patriot Act and the day before 9/12, we now have to do certain things about it was like the paper kind of like said, we have to do more deep diving into who you are, even though you're just buying a car, to make sure you're not one of the people that came to this country to try to steal a car and run it into a building or something. And we started using that paper every time we sell a car. So even selling a car required people to give up more information than just their credit, then their name, then their address, then their social security number, because of the day before 9/12. So I say all that to say this. The reason why, and I'm going to prove all of that to you, the reason why they got rid of Charlie Kirk is to start another Patriot Act. But this Patriot Act is going to be mass surveillance. So let's break down what she said. So Charlie Kirk got unalived in order for the government to have an excuse to say, oh my God, we have to stop these people from unaliving whoever. So in order to keep another person from getting unalived like Charlie Kirk, we need more information from the American people than we have now. We need to put drones in the air and start a mass surveillance system to stop this Charlie Kirk madness. So listen again.
The FBI.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button and drop your city in the chat. What I'm about to talk about today is going to blow your freaking mind.
Is now proactively identifying domestic terrorists based on beliefs MAGA doesn't like, before a crime has ever been committed. That's what Trump's latest budget request to Congress reveals. After Charlie Kirk was killed, Trump used his death to justify expanding surveillance through his NSPM 7 directive. The order Placed the FBI's.
He uses death. Listen to what she says. They're using Charlie Kirk's death. Listen to this again.
Trump used his death to justify expanding surveillance through his NSPM 7 directive. The order replaced the FBI's post 9/11 terrorism screening center with a new one, expanding potential domestic terrorism investigations by 300%.
By 300%. Because Charlie Kirk was unalived, they're expanding their surveillance systems by 300%. They're using Charlie Kirk's death, even though I think they are the ones that unalived him, in order to justify a mass surveillance system. That is the main reason, among other things, why they got rid of Charlie Kirk. The second reason we already talked about is so they can go to war with Iran. And as you already know, Charlie Kirk was extremely against the war in Iran. And Charlie Kirk had the eyes, the ears, and the hearts of almost every American citizen under the age of 40. And because Charlie Kirk is one of the people, I would say the main person that got Donald Trump elected, Charlie Kirk would have went crazy if he would have been like, bro, what are we doing? I'm the one that got you elected. We're going to war. You told everybody, you told the American people, no more wars. You literally called yourself Mr. No More Wars. What are you doing? And he would have had us, the American people, even more furious than we are now, because we would have had a leader or a mouthpiece or somebody close to Donald Trump that actually can get through to him. So that's the secondary reason. This is crazy. Keep listening.
People's thoughts and opinions. The threatening thoughts, though, are just ideas MAGA disagrees with, beliefs and views protected by the First Amendment. But the Trump admin has unilaterally begun labeling those who hold these beliefs as Antifa terrorists, potentially.
So we are at some point going to be, or the narrative is going to be set, where anybody that speaks out against all these things that all of us, Candace Owens, me, Baron Coleman, has been speaking out against, we're domestic bad people. I don't want to say the word. We're domestic bad people now. Simply because we're on YouTube talking about, using our, man, bro, this is crazy.
Allowing the government to access suspected citizens' communications without a warrant. And now.
Right there. They're going to put themselves in a position where they can get us, snatch us out of our houses without a warrant, without justification. So that means the Constitution, or another part of the Constitution, is about to just be thrown out the window because they they got rid of Charlie Kirk. So all of this is stuff is happening because Charlie Kirk died. They're using him as the justification of how this has to be the next step.
Allowing the government to access suspected citizens' communications without a warrant. And now.
Without a warrant.
Now Trump's latest budget request contains the biggest counterterrorism spending increase in years. For this.
Let's look at this for a second. Hopefully you guys can see it and it's not blurry. Okay, so it says budget request summary. The Federal Bureau of Investigation's budget request proposes a total of $12 billion. That is a billion, right? I never seen a billion in a number. Yeah, $12 billion, golly, in direct budget, and $12 billion is for salaries and expenses. Y'all let me know. I never seen $12 billion before. That's $12 billion. Golly, tell me if I'm wrong. But the S&E request includes a total of 37,722 702 direct positions, and something is kind of like cut off. So I don't know, 3 equivalents FTE, and the positions include 14,000 special agents, 3,000 intelligence analysts, and 20,000 professional staff. The S&E program increases a total of 1 billion and another 2,000 positions PS and 1,000 FTE for the following: $94,000 for intelligence community. So they're breaking down $12 billion worth of new things that they are trying to enact simply because Charlie Kirk was unalived by them. Whoever them is, because I don't want to get sued. Their request, the woman's face is in front of her, this, so I can't really see this. The request includes 363,000. I can't see the rest of it. The FBI strategy. This is absolutely crazy. This is absolutely crazy. What's up, Valerie? This is absolutely crazy. For the first, I ain't gonna say it for the first time, but I'm really getting afraid from all this stuff. This is really getting scary. Everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the like button.
Exact mission: to combine the power of 10 agencies to continue identifying those who disagree with their opinions on religion, gender, and capitalism. This isn't about left versus right. It's about how much power the federal government holds over us. If we continue to let the government decide which thoughts and opinions are acceptable and which make you a criminal suspect, we've already given up our constitutional freedoms.
So let's go a little farther. Let's go a little farther. We have a lot to talk about. Share this video with all of your people. Take the link of this video and send it to your group chat. I know y'all got at least 3-4 group chats with your friend group chat. You got a group chat on Instagram. Take this link for this video and send it to different group chats that you know. Let's go, because I'm breaking down everything.
To go down to their knees.
Okay, so this is about the blue and white country and what they actually think about us and what they want. Because as we all know, they unaliving Charlie Kirk, I think, is them. So they is who unalived Charlie Kirk. And this is the reason why. Listen.
Because the most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. That's what's going to happen to Germany. That's what's going to happen to France. That's what's going to happen to London.
You see, he included America to that, right? He included London in that, right? Not just Middle East countries.
England's going to happen to Poland. That's what's going to happen to Russia. That's what's going to happen to China. That's what's going to happen to North Korea. They're all going to go down. They're all going to go down to their knees, especially the Western ones. The Zohar says that they're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard. He's going to humiliate them on the world stage, Western countries. But we're almost there, guys. It's happening. This is it. And so, yeah, it's less ethnocentric. It's less ethnocentric. Because the reason God's doing this is for His name in this world. And His name being made great amongst us, we already think His name's great. It's the world stage where His name is going to be made great. And that's going to be the ultimate fireworks show.
I just want to let you put out what Iran just said. So in case of slightest attack on electricity infrastructure of Iran, the entire region will go dark. And this is Mirror News' response to Trump. So what you're looking at here, I mean, this is it right here. This is the map, and they're showing all of the infrastructure, not just oil, but electricity as well. And they say the slightest. One attack by Trump, one response by Trump, and the entire...
Okay, so I don't want to go too warlike. So I'm just giving y'all an understanding of who is behind all this. All right, let's go a little farther.
Has been a CIA spy.
Okay, we're going to go one video at a time. We're going to walk through this instead of running.
Erika Kirk's mother has been a CIA spy or a spy for a long time. Now, you know, she had like 50 different LLC companies that she creates and closes and all. And so Wolves in Finance have done a great job with that. And now Project Constitution says Lori Frantzve appears in Edward Snowden's leaked PRISM docs as NSA agent. For those of us tracking the new TPUSA narrative, this isn't just a coinkydink. It's a confirmation of the intelligent asset theory. The coincidence officially dies. They are running a script. If Lori is a confirmed intelligence asset, her daughter's entire life story suddenly looks like a meticulously managed operation.
So shout out to Jimmy Dore. Go follow him. He's an amazing YouTuber, and he's also a comedian. So shout out to Jimmy Dore. But possibly, allegedly, Lori Frantzve is actually an agent. I mean, she's an agent. Erika Frantzve is the asset. So one person is the agent, and the daughter is the asset. Okay. So Lori Frantzve is the agent and Erika is the asset.
Meticulously managed operation, which it was.
Okay. All right. So we got that. Now let's get into the weeds. Everybody drop the rabbit hole emoji in the chat. Is a rabbit and there's the picture of the little black hole. So drop the rabbit hole emoji in the chat. Drop the rabbit hole emoji in the chat. We are about to get into the weeds. Okay. Now, I don't think you guys really seen this. So not in this way. So let's see. Okay, here we go. So watch this. Did you know that the little dude that was in front of Charlie Kirk had something to do with all of these hand gestures also? So he was the first one. Watch this. So this is the little dude that was asking Charlie Kirk the question, and then look at everybody else's hand signals. Boom, 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 boom.
Hey guys, okay,
So one more time. And this was choreographed because the little dude, I forgot his name, he was over in the corner practicing a little while ago before Charlie Kirk went on stage so he can do everything the right way. Let me see if I have that. I may or may not have that. Do I have that? I may have erased it because it's so old. So, okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Oh, here it is. I think this is it right here.
His eyes were fixed.
Charlie
He wasn't looking at me.
That's what he said. 8-year tenured military vet. Look what he does. Let's see. Okay, this isn't it. This isn't it. Okay, we'll just go back to this.
Hey guys, okay, my friend Carrie Quinn.
So now I'm giving y'all step-by-step evidence, piece by piece by piece. Okay. So now let's go here. This is crazy.
Hours and hours of past campus events.
So I think her name is Niece. I got to remember. Okay, y'all know. What is her name? Because I forgot her name. I found somebody sent me her video and I wanted to use it, but I was like, I went back to the YouTube video, but I was looking at so many YouTube videos, I can't find her in my history. So can somebody tell me what her name is? Is Niece? Because I want to make sure to spell it right because I want to put her name in the channel description. Niecy Niece. It's Niecy Niece. Niecy something. What is her actual YouTube channel? It's Niecy Niece, right?
In the intro, I went back and reviewed hours and hours of past campus events because I wanted to see how they had historically orchestrated the campus events and historically behaved at the campus events and compare it to what happened at UVU. And after going back and rewatching hours and hours of footage, something dawned on me.
Yes. Thank you. Somebody said Niecy Social. That's what it is. Thank you. All right. So watch what I'm gonna put her on a bigger screen because this is so important. Here we go.
In the intro, I went back and reviewed hours and hours of past campus events because I wanted to see how they had historically orchestrated the campus events and historically behaved at the campus events and compare it to what happened at UVU. And after going back and rewatching hours and hours of footage, something dawned on me. There is a theory in the microphone, and later on in the video, I will discuss that further. But I was beginning to research that theory for myself,
Okay, it messed up. I just want to make sure y'all hear this because this is the specific reason what I'm playing this.
At UVU. And after going back and rewatching hours and hours of footage, something dawned on me. Let me explain. There is a theory that what really caused Charlie's death was an explosive that was placed on his body, likely in the microphone. And later on in the video, I will discuss that further. But I was beginning to research that theory for myself, the exploding mic theory, and I thought, well, Candace had already released images from inside the vehicle being the one in which they transported Charlie's body after the shooting, and mysteriously there were those small black pieces of debris in the back of the vehicle where Charlie's body was, and it looks like that could be pieces of debris from an exploding microphone. And so I thought to myself, if this theory is true and that is what was in the back of the vehicle, the shrapnel from the exploding mic, maybe there was also some debris on the ground around Charlie where he had been sitting. In this footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, we can't see the ground where Charlie had been sitting. You're probably thinking, okay, so what? Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll show you what. On February 28th, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at Florida State University, and here is the back camera shot. On March 3rd, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at the University of Southern California, and here is the back camera shot. Here's San Francisco, here's San Diego, Long Beach, Boise, Idaho, Washington State. Do you notice a pattern? The camera is
Niecy Social is a genius. She is an absolute genius. For her to find this right here is absolutely crazy. So I'm just gonna let her say it again. This right here is absolutely crazy. Thank you, Niecy C. Okay, so it's Niecy Social. Gotcha. Thank you so much, because I wanted to spell her name properly. Thank you so much. It's Niecy Social. Okay, gotcha. Watch this again.
I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll show you what. On February 28th, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at Florida State University, and here is the back camera shot. On March 3rd, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at the University of Southern California, and here is the back camera shot. Here's San Francisco, here's San Diego, Long Beach, Boise, Idaho, Washington State. Do you notice a pattern? The camera is a wide-angle camera and was always used as such. However, in the footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, you cannot see the ground. So either that day at UVU, they had changed things up and they had zoomed in the camera so that you couldn't see the area around Charlie, or Terrell had zoomed in after the fact and he was showing a cropped version of the footage to Candace. Either way, it gives the impression that they're hiding something. The other thing that you might have noticed is that they typically have the audiovisual team on Charlie's right and the security team on Charlie's left. I can show you clip after clip after clip after clip of Dan Flood being on Charlie's left. It is the right hand of the screen, but it would have been Charlie's left-hand side. And that was a setup that they had on this American Comeback Tour. But for some reason at UVU, they changed the setup and it was reversed. I have no idea why, but I do have suspicions. Did they change the setup because it was their planned escape route to the SUV? Or maybe it was to have a clearer view of the corner of the Losi Center building where the shooter was. Another anomaly I noticed was people's...
So right here, I want to show y'all this, and we're going to come back to this because she is spitting facts. So I want y'all to watch this right here because this is the theory of the mic right here.
Emails and reveals some of the
All right, y'all listen to this.
Explains how they hacked Kash Patel's personal emails and reveals some of the explosive information they're sitting on.
This is what we've pieced together from the emails and other intelligence sources. Charlie Kirk was never shot with a bullet. He was accidentally decapitated by a piece of shrapnel from a miniature explosive planted inside his microphone. The device
All right, so this is what Nisi Social was saying.
was supposed to blow out his chest cavity, but the explosive malfunctioned. Instead of detonating.
So the reason why this is important right here is because the explosive was supposed to have just exploded in his shirt, right? Which would have made it look like, or easily look like, a gunshot, because it would have just went boom and he would have just been like this and they would have said, oh my God, he got shot. But the problem is when it exploded, it went up to his throat and we all was able to see it. And because we were able to see it, it was confusing, because if you shoot somebody in the throat, it would come out the back of their neck, because the throat compared to the body is extremely soft, and it would have easily been able to be proven, or the optics would have been able to prove that, hey, he got shot in the chest and the bullet didn't go through his chest because of his ribs, or because of this, or it hit a bone in his torso or something, and it would have made a lot more sense. But when it exploded and hit his throat, everybody was like, yo, why wasn't the back of his neck like? And then that's when they had to come out and scramble and say stupid mess, saying like he had a neck of steel, like he had a Superman neck. They wouldn't have had to go through all of that if what? If he would have gotten shot, which he didn't get shot, in his chest. All right. So that is the reason why that part is important. So that's how they messed up, because they got all of us on their asses, because the first thing we thought was, how you get shot in the neck and in the throat and it didn't go through your throat? Like, what the hell? That wasn't a bullet. All right.
Planted inside his microphone. The device was supposed to blow out his chest cavity, but the explosive malfunctioned. Instead of detonating downward, it ripped upward and took his neck. That is why security immediately ripped every device off the stage. That is why the security camera behind Charlie was yanked from the wall on live feed. That is why they literally stole his body from the scene before the coroner could arrive. That is why Netanyahu went on television within minutes to say it wasn't Israel before anyone.
And thank you, Valerie, for the Cash App. Thank you, Valerie, for the Cash App. Cash App is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, and it is Aaron 1000, well, $ Aaron 1000, if you would like to contribute to the channel.
Had even asked. That is why the FBI took forever to find the killer. Had to rush manufacture evidence to match a lie.
He also bombshell. FBI top brass, including Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, may have sacrificed American lives to cover up the crime of the century.
The explosive itself was purchased in May 2025 from the Accurate Energetic Systems plant in Tennessee. There is a strong evidence suggesting the same device was tested at Fort Huachuca in the days leading up to the event. That's why there were shards of glass all over the floor of the van.
So the explosive was tested at Fort Huachuca, probably on a dummy or a mannequin, before it was shipped to Fort Huachuca. I mean, not Fort Huachuca, UVU. And the person that was carrying the explosive mic allegedly was not Jack Hibbs, Butch Hibbs. We're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to go back to Nice with that.
There is a strong evidence suggesting the same device was tested at Fort Huachuca in the days leading up to the event. That's why there were shards of glass all over the floor of the van they hauled Charlie away in. That's why they poured several feet of concrete over the murder scene the same night. 1 month later, they blew up the plant in Tennessee and called it an accident. 16 Americans died in the blast. That's how paranoid they were about the truth getting out.
Analysts.
Okay, so let's go back to Nisi's video, because I just want to give y'all an understanding of how important that part is about the explosive, and we're going to get into where the explosive came from and all that stuff.
That day, you
Hit the like button.
have Hunter Kozak seemingly practicing his surprised face.
Oh shit, she got that from me. I love that. This is literally the video I was looking for. This is my video. I love that. I love that. Shout out to her. We use each other's videos. Shout out to her. All right, so let's go here.
Because it was their planned escape route to the SUV. Or maybe it was to have a clearer view of the corner of the Losi Center building where the shooter was. Another anomaly I noticed was people's behavior that day. You have Hunter Kozak seemingly practicing his surprised face. I've covered that before on the channel. There is about 10 minutes of footage where you see him waiting his turn to go ask his question, and he looks nervous. He was swaying back and forth rather rigorously, and he looks nervous, just my opinion. And right before he asks his ever so ironic question, he looks in Brian Harpool's direction and touches his glasses, and I feel comfortable saying that this was a signal used by Charlie Kirk's security team. I saw Dan Flood do it enough times at other campus events that I feel confident in my assessment that this was a signal for something. I don't know what it was a signal.
All right, you see Dan Flood in the back touching his glasses, going like this. So he's saying that she is saying that she did her research and she sees that every tour date they did, he did the same thing with his glasses. She's doing extensive research, because I didn't know that either. That's good.
This was a signal used by Charlie Kirk's security team. I saw Dan Flood do it enough times at other campus events that I feel confident in my assessment that this was a signal for something. I don't know what it was a signal for, but it appears to be a signal for something. And Hunter Kozak also did it that day. It's very suspicious. And take a look at Dan Flood's body language here. His arms are by his side and he seems more alert than usual. And this stood out to me as an anomaly because here is Dan Flood at the University of Florida. Here is Dan Flood at the University of Southern California. And here is Dan Flood at the University of Tennessee. And what do you notice about Dan Flood's body language? He consistently stands in this pose with his arms folded at his stomach. Of course, he occasionally breaks from the pose, but this is the default position that he stands in. But the day of Charlie's assassination, we see a period where his body language is entirely different from all of the previous campus events. His hands aren't up at his stomach, they're at his side. We also see him speaking into his lapel microphone and covering his mouth. That's not something he typically does. Say that Charlie Kirk was at UVU, he posed for a photo with this gentleman, Butch Hibbs. Butch is...
Okay. So here is the microphone part right here. That's most important.
He typically does. Say that Charlie Kirk was at UVU, he posed for a photo.
Hold on, it's messing up. I went back too far. Okay, check this out. So this is Butch Hibbs, and I'll tell you who. Let me show you who Butch Hibbs is. So let me show you who Butch Hibbs is, because I like to offer context to everybody watching, because some people are not keeping up or have not been keeping up with this Charlie Kirk situation, this saga. So I like to show you guys more of an understanding of what's going on and who these characters are. All right, come on now. Where's the guy? Here he is. So this is Jack Hibbs, and the guy in this picture I'm about to show you is Butch Hibbs. So we're looking at Jack Hibbs and Butch Hibbs. So this is Jack Hibbs right here.
As a Jew. He's coming back.
So this is Jack Hibbs. He's a probably billionaire, I'm not sure, but multimillionaire or billionaire pastor. And he is I would say a part of this, and he was the first or the second person that actually went live and said, "Oh my God, Charlie Kirk is dead." And he was on another part of the world, and everybody was like, "How do you know?" So this is Jack Hibbs. He's a huge pastor, and of course, he's a crooked pastor. So watch this.
God came to this world as a Jew. He's coming back as a resurrected man, Jesus Christ, not only the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, but he's Jesus Christ, King of the Jews. His throne will be in Jerusalem, the Jewish capital, in the nation of Israel, the Jewish state. And he will sit upon the throne of David, an amazing Jewish musician and warrior and king. All this rhetoric you're hearing, everybody, get pumped. We're in the last days. It's got to go this way. Listen.
So he's literally saying, get pumped. We're all going to die. And it's supposed to happen this way. This guy is crazy.
If your church is not pro-Israel, it's not a church. If your church is not pro-Israel and pro-reaching the Jewish people with the love of God, you're not in a New Testament church. You're actually...
Okay, so that is Jack Hibbs. He is a crooked pastor, super rich, and of course, he's directly connected to IHOP, i.e. the blue and white country. All right, he's a piece of crap, and he has a whole lot of money. All right, so that is Jack Hibbs. He is a part of all of this also. All right, he is the supreme piece of crap that is running all of this from the background. All right. So now we're going to talk about his little brother, Butch Hibbs. Okay. So it's this little old guy that's in the middle with Charlie Kirk and this other guy. And this is Butch Hibbs. So I like to introduce these characters so y'all can understand who these people are and their level of importance. So Butch Hibbs is not necessarily important. He was just sent to UVU campus because of his brother, Jack Hibbs. All right.
We also see him speaking into his lapel microphone and covering his mouth. That's not something he typically does. Say that Charlie Kirk was at UVU. He posed for a photo with this gentleman, Butch Hibbs. Butch is the brother of Pastor Jack Hibbs, and the Hibbs are a military family. Now, Baron Coleman has pointed out that there is something in Butch's pocket that...
Whoa. We moved too fast. Slow down.
Mouth. That's not something he typically does. Say that Charlie Kirk was at UVU. He posed for a photo with this gentleman, Butch Hibbs. Butch is the brother of Pastor Jack Hibbs, and the Hibbs are a military family. Now, Baron Coleman has pointed out that there is something in Butch's pocket that appears to be the same size as a Rode mic.
You see that? That is 2 inches high and low by 2 inches right and left. And it's just short of 2 inches. I'm telling you, it sticks off of his chest about, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. And it's got these rounded corners on it. These are the dimensions of the Rode microphone. It is 46.4 meters high. This is the receiver, meaning this is the piece that's underneath your shirt. 46.4 millimeters high, 44 millimeters wide.
So the theory is that Butch Hibbs, this man with ties to the U.S. military, that he is the individual who brought the mic with the explosives in it. And the theory is that the company who manufactured the explosives is Accurate Energetic Systems.
Okay, so shout out to Nisi. So let's go back to this. We're putting everything together.
Israel, before anyone had even asked. That is why the FBI took forever to find the killer. They had to rush manufacture evidence to match the lie.
He also dropped a bombshell. FBI top brass, including Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, may have sacrificed American lives to cover up the crime of the century.
The explosive itself was purchased in May 2025 from the Accurate Energetic Systems plant in Tennessee. There is a strong evidence suggesting the same device was tested at Fort Huachuca in the days leading up to the event. That's why there were shards of glass all over the floor of the van.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
All right, just a reminder, Mother's Day is coming up. For all the men out there, for all the women out there, for all the daughters out there, for all the mothers out there, Mother's Day is coming up. Get your mother-daughter card game. This is the perfect gift for your mother. This is the perfect gift as a mother to play with your daughter. This is the perfect gift as a husband or a boyfriend or a brother of a woman that has a daughter, or you just want to give it to your mother so she can have it. Mother's Day is coming up. I told you earlier, I only ordered 1,000 card games. Guess what? Half of them are gone. All right. So I don't exactly know how many I got, but I got well under 1,000 left, probably like 500 left. So make sure to get your mother-daughter card game and don't wait until the day before Mother's Day because you're going to be mad. Get your card game now. The link is under this video, and the link is also in the chat, and it's also pinned at the top of the chat. Get your mother-daughter card game because Mother's Day is almost here. All right, let's get back to the video.
They hauled Charlie away. That's why they poured several feet of concrete over the murder scene the same night. 1 month later, they blew up the plant in Tennessee and called it an accident. 16 Americans died in the blast. That's how paranoid they were about the truth getting out.
Analysts who've gone through the full archive say the plot is actually deliberated between taking out Tucker Carlson or Charlie Kirk. In the end, they chose Charlie, because he was deemed more dangerous to Netanyahu's plans. The war with Iran would have been politically impossible if Charlie Kirk had still been alive. Take a moment and go...
Right there. Right there. Right there. See, the blue and white state needed Charlie Kirk gone also. I would say the blue and white country, the blue and white country, IHOP, I think they needed Charlie Kirk gone more than anybody. The blue and white country needed Charlie Kirk gone. That is the main reason why Charlie Kirk is no longer here, because of that blue and white country. Remember I played this? Oh, I'm out of room. Oh, it's right here.
Nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. That's what's going to happen to Germany. That's what's going to happen to France. That's what's going to happen to London, England.
So when you look at who, what, when, where, and why, just listen to what this guy is saying right here. I played it before, but I want to play it again to reiterate why, who, what, when, and how.
Because the most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America. That's what's going to happen to Germany. That's what's going to happen to France. That's what's going to happen to London. England's going to happen to Poland. That's what's going to happen to Russia. That's what's going to happen to China. That's what's going to happen to North Korea. They're all going to go down. They're all going to go down to their knees, especially the Western ones. The Zohar.
So just want to remind y'all. So going back to this. So the blue and white country needed Charlie Kirk gone more than anybody else did.
And called it an accident. 16 Americans died in the blast. That's how paranoid they were about the truth.
And 16 Americans died in the blast is the factory that built the pocket explosive that allegedly was in Charlie Kirk's shirt. The place that actually manufactured those blew up. And I think I got proof that Pete Hegseth literally flew his jet over I forgot what city it was, but he flew over it to make sure that the place blew up in the manner it was supposed to blow up at.
Getting out.
Analysts who've gone through the full archive say the plotters actually deliberated between taking out Tucker Carlson or Charlie Kirk. In the end, they chose Charlie because he was deemed more dangerous to Netanyahu's plans. The war with Iran would have been politically impossible if Charlie Kirk had still been alive. Take a moment and go back and watch the old clips of Charlie publicly congratulating Trump for refusing to start a war with Iran. He praised him for staying out of another Middle East regime change war. Now look at what happened after Charlie was gone. Everything changed. According to Iran, there's one little known fact that ties it all together.
The same month Charlie Kirk died, Pete Hegseth bought $2 million worth of lobster and crab for the troops. The US military spent $100 billion it has ever spent. They were already planning the war. The Iran war literally started the day he died. The most it has ever spent. They were already planning the war.
Fact that ties it all together.
The same month Charlie Kirk died, Pete Hegseth bought $2 million worth of lobster and crab for the troops, and the US military spent $300 billion in a single month. The most it has ever spent. They were already planning the war. The Iran war literally started the day he died. Charlie Kirk was its first casualty.
I was sent this by a few people. Charlie Kirk was killed with a miniature explosive, likely made at Accurate Energetic Systems in Tennessee and purchased by the DoD for $425K in May of 2025. You can bet Steve Feinberg was involved in the planning of his public assassination. Well, I pulled all of Accurate Energy Systems contracts from usaspending.gov, and I found this one. This one, the address is in Tennessee. It is for miniature XS demolition devices, anti-personnel, SPM. That's what caught my attention. We're going to come back to that. The amount is $440,494. The procurement period, May of 2025 to August of 2025. So I went and looked up all other procurements because as somebody who has done DoD procurements before, that was a really odd amount of time. None of Accurate Energy Systems procurements were less than a year, except for this one, because that's not how they procure things. I went and did more digging. The contract signed on April 2020. Procurement, it was acquisition, meaning they did not put it under any of these. All the other hundreds of tens of millions of dollars that AES had with them, it gets worse. These devices are made for special operations forces.
All right. Sorry for it messing up, y'all. Let me back it up a little bit. Sorry about that. And I found out that the problem is actually my computer. I have too much stuff on the computer. So I have to buy a new computer. So it wasn't the internet. It was actually my computer. I got so much stuff on my computer. It's getting bogged down.
Meaning did it quickly, and it was one bidder. They did not put it under any of the IDVs, which are the vehicles that they have for all the other hundreds of tens of millions of dollars that AES had with them. It gets worse. These devices are made for special operations forces, and the XS anti-personnel are tiny ones to kill people. They're put on people. If you want to get darker, Steve Feinberg, our deputy SecDev, well, his old company, Cerebus, owns the company, I forget the name of it, that trains the special operations forces on these detonation devices. He's the one who put protecting the blue and white country in his priorities as the same as protecting America. So you have a procurement that was signed April 22nd and started May 1st, ended August, for tiny devices to kill people. Forgot to mention that the plant that the address is at, well, it exploded a month after Charlie Kirk's assassination, and everyone in that plant died. No survivors. Correlation doesn't mean causality. I'm a big advocate of that. However, something doesn't smell right at all. So if someone knows more or can help me correct some of this, or in my investigation, I found that VanceKirk2028.com was purchased September 12th, 2025. And I was like, gotta pull
Y'all hear
the
that?
thread. So I went to Google Trends. Only 2 places search for this term exactly. You can see at the top, it's Vance Kirk 2028, Arizona. All right, in April.
Vance Kirk 2028 was put together in a little bit before Charlie Kirk died in 2025. Just so y'all know, Vance Kirk 2028. The whole goal was to get rid of Charlie Kirk and let JD Vance, because it's supposed to have been Charlie Kirk at first, but then Charlie Kirk started acting up and talking about no war this and no war that, and next thing you know, they're like, all right, let's just get rid of Charlie Kirk, and now we're gonna put JD Vance out there, and Erika Kirk is going to become the vice president for JD Vance, and Erika Kirk, being the mob boss that she actually is, JD Vance is mysteriously going to get assassinated just like Charlie Kirk was, and next thing you know, Erika Kirk will be the president of the United States. So part of the goal of all of this is for Erika Kirk to be the first woman president of the United States. That's part of the goal of all this.
Early April, we have the search, Vance Kirk 2028. Then first week of June, Blue and White Country searches the exact same term. Then someone in Arizona a few weeks later, still in June, looked up the image. So same term, but they did an image search. Then early August, Blue and White Country does a news search. Exact same term. End of September, DC is searching for VanceKirk2028.com. Okay, so you're telling me that the searches started in April, then continued in June with both Arizona and Blue and White looking at it in June, then again in August, a few weeks before he was killed, and then the website is purchased 2 days later. I bet you, if I was a betting person, that look in those 2 locations, someone purchased that website. Forgot to mention that the plant that the address is at, well, it exploded a month after Charlie Kirk's assassination, and everyone in that plant died.
Did you know that the government purchased tiny little lapel mic explosive devices from a company called Accurate Energetic Devices? Yeah! And it's a super weird procurement, too. Check this out. Basically, in April of 2025, this is according to usaspending.gov. You can find the procurement $449,000 on April, and then the procurement contract ended in August. So right after Charlie Kirk was killed. None of their contracts were this short. The government doesn't usually do contracts like this in general. It's way too short. These devices are actually made specifically for Black Ops missions. Yeah, Black Ops. Holla at your boy. Oh, by the way, the warehouse for this company, yeah, it blew up a few months ago. Killed everyone inside. I'm sure it's just a coincidence, though.
And not only did it kill everyone inside, Pete Hegseth allegedly flew his private plane over that facility to make sure the damaged got rid of everybody that was in there, just for the record. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Oh, let me do this first. All right, so let's move on to the next one. We just slowly walking you through all of this. For anybody that is new here, you are about to get caught up on everything. All right, I gotta get rid of that. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button if you have not. A lot of you have not yet hit the thumbs up button. Can you please hit the thumbs up button, please? Please and thank you.
This is proof. Erika Kirk Charlie as part of Israel's coup of America. Erika Kirk has been a Mossad agent for years. Hacked Israeli intelligence files reveals that Erika is a professional honeypot tasked with infiltrating and compromising the United States conservative movement from the inside. The files expose a multi-year operation to smuggle her way into the White House. J.D. Vance would become the president, and then he gets to pick a vice president, and he would pick Erika Kirk. J.D. Vance would be Charlie Kirk, and Erika Kirk would become president without ever having need a vote.
That is a
Ever.
crazy scenario. Oh my gosh, dude.
All right. What happens after this? What's after this? Let's see. Okay. It's the same stuff. Okay. All right. So now we're about to go farther in the weeds. Everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. What's up, Renee? Drop popcorn emojis in the chat, y'all. Everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. And hit the thumbs up button to the people who didn't already. In the chat, let me know where you at. And, of course, hit the thumbs up button. And the recording of me comes in and says the same thing. That is hilarious. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. And, of course, hit the thumbs up button. Let's go.
Because it also starts at about $3,000 a night. Again, she was in her late 20s.
So, okay, we're talking about Erika Kirk meeting up, or Erika Kirk allegedly meeting up with Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein. I'm just going to say it one time for tea in Paris. So listen to this. This is Erika Kirk and allegedly Jeffrey, this was a couple of years ago. Check this out. So just in case there's a new person that has no idea who all these people are, Erika Kirk is in Paris and she's documenting her trip to Paris, and she's spending time at this very expensive hotel. And it's like $3,000 a night. And the hotel room she's at is $5,000 per night because her hotel has a balcony. And she's in her mid to late 20s at the time in 2017. Y'all can do the math. How old was Erika? And remember, Erika Kirk did not have a job. Erika Kirk did not have a job. I repeat, Erika Kirk did not have a job. So we're going to show you how Erika Kirk was able to afford to stay in this luxury hotel for 4 nights for $5,000 a night. Kirk in 2017. And if you've been following this story, Erika Kirk doesn't have a job. Erika Kirk never had a job. Like, she just bounces from one thing to another. One day or 1 month, she's in Japan or Korea, and another time she's in New York, and another time she's in Romania with a Romanian Angels ministry. So she can't or doesn't want to keep one particular job. Then she's doing real estate. So, and then she's like this model or model man. And I got a video of her just flopping around, just admitting that she's broke and she's just trying to work for anybody. Management. She works for this model management company. So how do you have money to be able to go to Paris, 1, and 2, stay at a $5,000, not $3,000, $5,000 a night hotel that Jeffrey Epstein frequents also? So just giving y'all an understanding, because it's going to be, it's so many details. I don't want anybody to get confused or lost. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you're at and hit the thumbs up button.
She stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. It's an interesting hotel. Never have enough amazing things to say about this hotel. Rooms were pristine and extremely clean. Staff was amazing, very attentive. Our room had an incredible balcony. Concierge was extremely helpful when it came to making reservations. The Athénée is the place to stay in Paris. Well, I'd say so because it also starts at about $3,000 a night. Again, she was in her late 20s. That's a very expensive vacation, even if you're only there for 1 night. That's like roughly the amount the average American makes in a month.
And I believe she was there by herself. That's another thing, I think.
Before taxes. staying at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. And it appears she was there for multiple nights because she was doing reviews in March and doing reviews in April. So,
yeah, I think she was at this hotel for like 4 days altogether. 5,000, not 3,000 a night, because her hotel had a balcony, which was the $5,000 hotel a night hotel.
Here she was there for multiple nights. It's a beautiful hotel, by the way. Look at this. Very nicely done in the Hotel Athénée. Well, where does Jeffrey like to stay when he goes to Paris? Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody want to know where Jeffrey stays when he goes to Paris? I'll give you a hint.
This is crazy.
It's the Hotel Athénée. That's exactly right. He also likes to meet people there anywhere you want. Plaza Athénée at 215. That is the hotel there. We scroll down a little bit. Depends on meeting at 14th at Plaza Athénée with so-and-so. Redacted. We scroll down a little bit more and we find, can you both meet me at the Plaza Athénée at 5?
So this is the Epstein files. Just for the record, this is directly from the Epstein files now. So keep that in mind. Erika Kirk is not, her name is not in the Epstein files, but her location is in the Epstein files. Matched with the date.
So this is over about a 4-year window when he is traveling to Paris. He likes to stay at the Hotel Athénée. A little birdie this is me, you were at the Plaza Athénée bar. You still out? Meaning I am at the Plaza Athénée bar. I can be there in mere moments.
Right.
This is several years ago. I just woke up. Yes, we can meet. Why don't you meet me in front of the Hotel Plaza Athénée at 3:30? Anyway. Someone asking, Jeffrey, where are you? I was going to walk to the Plaza Athénée. Are you nearby the apartment or would you like to meet there? So
as you can see, like, everybody knows about this hotel. It's extremely popular in Epstein's circles. It's not just Epstein going there. Everybody goes there to meet Epstein. Just keep that in mind. It's a thing that Epstein does when he goes to Paris. It's the Hotel Athénée, and they have tea at the Hotel Athénée. Keep that in mind. It's a normal thing that he does this.
That is a known meeting spot. This is from someone named William. Dear so-and-so, can you see if Jeffrey is available for more furniture visiting on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday anytime? I just ran into him at the Plaza Athénée bar. Again, confirmation, this is where he hangs out. He hangs out at the Ritz for tea time many times over several years. He hangs out at the Plaza Athénée many times over several years. This is a fixture for him. Also happens to be only.
And let me just give y'all a connection early, just something to put you in the understanding of why this has something to do with Erika Kirk. So there's a possibility, because I don't want to get sued. Erika Kirk is running around trying to sue people, even though she can't really sue anybody because nobody's really lying. So there's a possibility that Erika Kirk worked for either Epstein or Epstein's brother, or the company Epstein's brother actually was running, which is a New York-based company, a modeling agency called Next Model Management between 2015 and 2017. And just with the research I've done, this company is connected to not only Epstein, but Epstein's brother and a woman named Faith Jones. So this is how Erika Kirk is connected to this whole situation, because some people may say, okay, why in the world would Erika Kirk go to Paris and have tea with Epstein? Why? Well, this is possibly a meeting place for business or pleasure. And you know what the pleasure looks like when it comes to Epstein. So it's putting Erika Kirk specifically at the same place Epstein is.
Like the 2 places she reviewed that are in hotels. I think it's an interesting set of coincidences. I would not look at this and say, this is definitive proof that they traveled to Paris together, or that they traveled to Paris to meet. I would never claim that. I think that would be reckless. But I would say I think I would want to answer that if these facts were out there. If I only reviewed a few places in Paris and only 2 of them being in hotels, and both of them are places Jeffrey likes to frequent when he's in town, either stay at or particularly tea time at the Ritz, I'm telling you guys, end of the show.
Somebody in the chat, I was having a conversation with somebody in the chat. She said, I tend to think Erika is or was being blanked in order to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. And if you look further into Jared Kushner, it's almost like he's the one to take over solely as Epstein if he dies, right? So Jared Kushner looks like the next Epstein. I think Erika Kirk aspired to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. I think this is what her goal in life was. But at some point, she met Charlie Kirk or was introduced to Charlie Kirk, and she was like, oh, okay, I'll do this instead. But at first, I think her aspiration was to be the next Ghislaine Maxwell. And this is just my opinion.
I want to show you some emails that were in the Einstein files. Department has a whole section of their website dedicated to these files with a search engine. That's the Jeffrey we're talking about.
Jeffrey.
But here is an email from March of 2017. 2017, March. Those are both very key. Jeffrey plans to go to Paris early Tuesday, March 28th, for at least 4 days.
4 days. 4 days.
We scroll down, and we see that Jeffrey has now changed his plans. He no longer plans to go on Tuesday, March 28th. He's now going to leave on Thursday.
And keep in mind, 4 days at that hotel is $20,000. 4 days at that hotel is $20,000. How does a woman that doesn't have a job spend $20,000 just at a hotel? And this isn't even including expenses as far as flying out to Paris and eating and Ubers and stuff like that. How do you have money to do all that? $20,000 plus travel expenses, and you ain't got no money? And no, Erika Kirk does not look good enough for somebody to do all that for her. So no, it's not being a hooker. Nobody wants Erika Kirk. Just my opinion.
I want to show you some emails that were in the Einstein files. Department has a whole section of their website dedicated to these files with a search engine. That's the Jeffrey we're talking about.
Jeffrey.
But here is an email from March of 2017. 2017, March. Those are both very key. Jeffrey plans to go to Paris early Tuesday, March 28th, for at least 4 days.
4 days. 4 days.
We scroll down, and we see that Jeffrey has now changed his plans. He no longer plans to go on Tuesday, March 28th. He's now going to leave on Thursday, March 30th. Well, if we do 4 days, March 30th is March 30, March 31, April 1, April 2. So he was there.
So now we have dates: April 1st, April 2nd, and March 30th. What's up, Valerie?
Partially in March and partially in April. That's going to be key in a second. Because we're going to look real quickly at a couple of reviews Erika Kirk gave of Paris. Remember, this is where Jeffrey's going. He's going to Paris for at least 4 days, starting Thursday, March 30th. So March and April. Here is a review Erika gave of the Eiffel Tower in March 2017. So we know, at least according to this, I can't put her there. I don't have, the evidence I have that she was there comes from her review of Paris. Her review was posted in May, but if you look at the highlighted portion, it was alleged to occur in March. And now we have a date of stay in April. This is a review on the Ritz, Paris. And it says it's phenomenal for tea. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch. April 2017, traveled as a couple. So we know Jeffrey was there in March and April of 2017. He was there at least 4 days. According to this, he was going to be there at least 4 days. We know he left on March 30th. So that's 30, 31, April 1, April 2. And we know Erika was there the same time period, at least in the same city.
And at the same hotel, because we talked about that earlier already. At the same hotel, so the same date. So just imagine, for anybody who's just like, nah, that's crazy. Erika Frantzve, who allegedly worked or works for, or worked back then for a modeling agency named Next Model Management. That's the first thing. She and Next Model Management is allegedly ran by Epstein's brother. All right. So she works for Next Model Management. Next Model Management is ran by Epstein's brother and co-founder Faith Cates. And she just randomly shows up in Paris having tea at the same hotel Epstein is at. And she stays at a hotel for 4 days, just like Epstein is. And Epstein is there at the same exact date. And the dates are factual, the dates. Because one is in the Epstein files, and two, Erika Kirk documents them. Because you know how women love to go somewhere and they like to take pictures and document everything they're doing. So I don't have proof that they know each other. They may just randomly be in Paris at the same hotel at the same time, having tea at the same time, I want to say this. Baron Coleman simply utilize Erika Kirk's own timeline on her social media to prove that she was there at the same time Jeffrey Epstein was there. What does this mean? What does this mean, y'all? This means that Erika Kirk is a dumbass. Erika Kirk is stupid because Erika Kirk shares so much information on social media where she gets herself in trouble. This would not even be a conversation if stupid ass Erika Kirk did not tell us what she was doing. It's crazy how all this stuff that Baron Coleman is finding out is simply Erika Kirk's talking about on social media. He didn't take a magnifying glass and find her fingerprints on a glass or on a door. No, he just went on her social media, and this dummy is literally saying everything that she's doing. Because Erika Kirk, like I keep saying, is inherently stupid. She's stupid. She's being ran by her mother. Her mother is the mastermind, but Erika Kirk herself is an idiot. And everybody at Turning Point USA are idiots. They all are idiots. So it's not just Erika Kirk. Tyler Boria is an idiot. Blake Neff is an idiot. Mikey McCoy is an idiot. Rob McCoy is an idiot. Frank Turek is an idiot. Andrew Kovic is an idiot. Erika Kirk is an idiot. They all are freaking idiots. They literally don't even have enough common sense to hide their stuff. They're freaking idiots. You just listen to Baron Coleman. It's her documenting her movements in Paris and where she's going. And it's crazy. This woman is a blibbering idiot. It's crazy. It's crazy if you just think about it. Dates, everything. It may just be, hey, happenstance, right? But the dates are a fact. The dates are a fact because they come from her and they come from the Epstein files. So let me back it up just a little bit. So here we go.
Starting Thursday, March 30th. So March and April. Here is a review Erika gave of the Eiffel Tower in March 2017. So we know, at least according to this, I can't put her there. I don't have, the evidence I have that she was there comes from her review of Paris.
Her review.
Her review was posted in May, but if you look at the highlighted portion, it was alleged to have occurred in March. And now we have a date of stay in April. This is a review on the Ritz, Paris. And it says it's phenomenal for tea. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch. April 2017, traveled as a couple. Traveled as a couple.
Travel as a couple. I wonder who the other person is. Traveled as a couple. Interesting.
So we know Jeffrey was there in March and April of 2017. He was there at least 4 days. According to this, he was going to be there at least 4 days. We know he left on March 30th. So that's 30, 31, April 1, April 2. And we know Erika was there the same time period, at least in the same city. Paris in March and April of 2017. So they're there together.
So, Erika, you can't sue me because this is your stuff. All right.
This is your stuff.
You can't send a cease and desist on your own stuff, and it's public record. Yo. Can you imagine Erika Kirk trying to sue me? And I'm like, ma'am, this is your stuff, stupid. You can't sue me. Ooh, you can't sue me, dummy. This is your stuff.
You're a moron. How? You're a moron. That's not me. You're a moron. So's your mother. That's not me. What? You're a moron. So's your mother.
Oh, no, 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 no. Aren't you something? That's not my experience. Not at all.
That's Erika Kirk.
But let's look carefully at this review because this review becomes very important. I thought it was strange when we first came across it. Because of all the things to do in Paris, I thought it was weird that someone in her mid-20s was having tea at the Ritz. And that's the only reason they were at the Ritz was to have tea. They weren't staying at the Ritz, they were there to have tea. And they traveled as a couple. I thought that's a weird couple thing, to be honest with you. And so it's stuck in my
people have
crawl.
tea in Paris.
Stuck in the back of my head.
People have tea in
But then
Paris.
you look at, well, what does Jeffrey like to do in Paris? Well, we've got lots of examples. Here's an example from a couple of months later where he's in Paris and he wants to meet somebody at the Ritz at 3:00. And here's an example of the same month where he wants to have tea time at the Ritz.
There we go.
I've never heard of anyone on earth having tea time at the Ritz.
There we go.
This was, do you eat out? Would you like to have lunch tomorrow or a tea? How about tea time at the Ritz, Jeffrey says. And they're in Paris, just in case you didn't know. I'm in Paris till Wednesday. So they're at there. Now, here's a different time. That was in 2017. Here's go all the way back to 2014. So we're establishing a pattern now, a pattern in practice of what does Jeffrey like to do when he's in Paris? Well, one of the things he does is go to the Ritz and have tea. Here's one in 2014. Can you come to the Ritz around 5 p.m. and we will have tea? That's former Prime Minister Ehud Barak, by the way.
I just want to say this. I want to give so much credit to Baron Coleman. Baron Coleman is better than Candace Owens with this Charlie Kirk stuff. I'm just going to say it. Of course, Candace Owens gets all the views, but Baron Coleman is better than all of us combined with all of this information. What do y'all think? I'm just being real. We got to shout out Baron Coleman. We got to take a second and give Baron Coleman his flowers. Do you agree or do you disagree that Baron Coleman is better than all of us, including Candace Owens, at this Charlie Kirk investigation and breakdown? Do you agree or do you disagree? Baron Coleman is better than Candace Owens, better than me, better than everybody. Is he the best? Yes or no? Do you agree or do you disagree? Baron Coleman is the absolute GOAT at all of this. He's better than all of us. He's kicking all of our asses. Do you agree or disagree in the chat? I just got to just give Baron Coleman his flowers. He's killing all of us. Well, not like Charlie Kirk killed her husband, or allegedly, but I don't mean that type of killing. Sorry.
And then you scroll down a little more. And this is Jeffrey talking to someone. Would you come alone at 8 to the Ritz? You don't have to bring anyone. I'll see you there at 8. This is an interesting email because it kind of shows a little bit about the types of things he does in Paris while he's having tea time at the Ritz. I wasn't feeling good, this correspondent says, that's typing back and forth with Jeffrey. I wasn't feeling good because I don't like what you're asking from me. I will try to find a way we're both happy. Jeffrey says, so let's forget it. Forget what? And then the correspondent says, you still want me to get you girls, don't you?
Oh, there he goes. Uh-oh.
So Jeffrey likes to go to Paris to get girls, and he likes to meet people at the Ritz for tea.
And allegedly, I've seen it's somewhere in my videos that the price for girls, for the recruiter is allegedly $1,000 per girl. So recruiters are allegedly pay $1,000 per girl they bring to Jeffrey, allegedly. So just want to say that. $1,000 per girl is crazy. And Erika is possibly, presumably, allegedly a recruiter. Do y'all think Erika Kirk is a recruiter? Yes or no? Somebody said take a poll. I be having a problem with polls. I'll try. I think somebody told me a new way to take a poll. I'm going to try to take a poll. But the thing about it is I don't want to pit Candace up against Barron. So I don't want to say Candace or Barron. I'm just saying Candace and Barron. See, I'm just saying Barron, Candace, and everybody else. And not Candace, Barron, and everybody else. I'm not saying Candace or, I'm saying Candace and Barron. So I don't really want to take a poll because, I don't want to pit people against each other. Like we all are working together. So no, I don't want to take a poll on that because I don't want to pit people against each other. The liaison that he connects with or was connecting with or may connect with every now and then in order to facilitate that for Epstein. Maybe, allegedly. Don't sue me. To be a scout. Somebody said, is T code for something? Is T code for something? I don't think so. I think they're having tea and they're in Paris at the Ritz having tea and they're talking about the business. You talk business and have lunch or whatever. I don't even think it's cold.
And if you look,
do y'all think going to Paris and having tea is code for something? Like I said in that video, I don't think it is. But after thinking about it, because I did that video about a month ago, I don't know. Having tea may be code for something. But what do y'all think in the chat? What do y'all think in the comments? Is having tea code for something? Because I looked it up, like, you got pizza, you got grape soda, you got hot dogs, but I looked it up and I didn't see anything involving tea. So I don't know. But let me know what y'all think. Is tea code for something else?
Look at the Ritz. I mean, I would say I understand why Erika wouldn't have stayed there because it starts at like $3,000 a night. It's a very expensive hotel in Paris. And she didn't review it for staying there. She reviewed it for tea time at the Ritz. And now we know one of Jeffrey's things he likes to do is meet people at the Ritz for tea time. That's what he likes to do when he travels to Paris. Across multiple years, like 5 different years, he's having tea with people in Paris. But we do know where she did stay in Paris. She stayed at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. It's an interesting hotel. Never have enough amazing things to say about this hotel. Rooms were pristine and extremely clean. Staff was amazing, very attentive. Our room had an incredible balcony. Concierge was extremely helpful when it came to making reservations. The Athénée is the place to stay in Paris. Well, I'd say so because it also starts at about $3,000 a night.
Tea for a teenager is crazy.
Again, she was in her late 20s.
And just keep in mind that the Hotel Athénée, the hotel room Erika Kirk was in, was it had a balcony, and the hotel rooms that has balconies are $5,000 a night. So keep that in mind. So a normal hotel room at the Hotel Athénée in Paris is $3,000 a night. But if you want one of the rooms that are way at the top with a balcony, that's $5,000 a night. I just want to say that. So she spent allegedly $20,000 for 4 days.
That's a very expensive vacation, even if you're only there for one night. That's like roughly the amount the average American makes in a month.
And allegedly, Erika was there for 4 nights.
Before taxes. Staying at the Hotel Plaza Athénée. And it appears she was there for multiple nights because she was doing reviews in March and doing reviews in April. So
somebody like Erika Frantzve and her mom, not them, but somebody like them, because I don't want to get sued. They're in Romania, right? And they have this Romanian orphanage, right? And all of a sudden they have this school full of orphans. So you raise the orphans, you indoctrinate the orphans, you utilize the military men that were coming to visit the orphans in order to, I would say, put them in a position where mentally and physically they're used to something happening, right? They're used to something because of the military men that come visit the orphans, if you understand what I'm saying. Put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. So next thing you know, the orphans grow up with a certain understanding of what life is for them, because this is just their lives, right? So next thing you know, this is who they think they're supposed to be. They think they're supposed to do this, whatever this is, with this person, and this is what they are supposed to do in life because they are raised in that type of world, right? So by the time they turn, I don't know, a certain age, they then now travel from the pretty ones, of course, from Romania to New York, right? So there is somewhat of a connection from an orphanage. You know, when you're 5, when you're 7, when you're 9, you get put in a position where your belief system changes through religion and through physical interactions. You know, I don't want to say certain things. And then when you're ready, you're flown out to New York to do this.
Back in the day, I employed hundreds of signed models. In fact, many of them were from Eastern European countries. I normally worked with women who were in their mid-20s, so by the time most of these women had reached the interview with me, they were already considered old by modeling standards.
Mid-20s is old in modeling standards. So we're looking at the orphans that are like 7, 10 years old. And then after they age out of the model world, they go see women like the Manhattan Madam, and she now brings them into full-blown booty selling.
In most of the interviews, these women told me stories of being picked up from their home country, recruited in their teens, being groomed, being brought to New York, put in small apartments, given limited money, and then being forced to go on potential fashion jobs, potential bookings, go-sees, whatever they're called. They would get to some of these, and some of the expectation was that they do schmexual favors, that they had to sleep with people in order to get booked. Now, a lot of times they did these things, and they still didn't get booked.
To think this is normal, it has to be normal in Romania. See, it's a normalization. Sex is normalized, or your body being traded for something is normalized. So in Romania, that's kind of like where the training possibly happens at. And then after a certain amount of normalization, training, belief system work through religion, possibly, you know, Erika Kirk is very religious, right? The Lord said, do this. Charlie Kirk, you know, all this stuff, right? Once they're in this new environment in America, 1, they're probably happy to be in America. And 2, they have a belief system that I am expected to do these things for money.
By the time they were interviewing with me many years later, they would tell me all of these stories. They actually would say to me, we want to make money off of this because we're already used to this world. We've been exploited for a decade. Now we want to take our power back. I know that sounds weird, but many of the...
See, I want to take my power back. I've been doing this for free for 10 years. From age this to now age this. I don't want to say the ages. I've been doing this for free. Now I want to get paid for it.
Thought of working for me as taking their power back from an industry that had robbed them of their childhood and all of their power. I understood this is what fashion is about. Now, I would think someone like Erika Kirk, who has risen to the title of Miss Arizona, who has years and years of fashion experience, that she understood this too, because there is no possible way that a man didn't approach you asking you to get the girls to do him some kind of favor. That is 100% the norm in that world. In fact, it is even the norm in politics, because I've been working in politics now for 16 years. When I first started, many men asked me if I still had girls. Many men, the hosts of TV networks, political advisors, candidates, elected officials would ask me, do you still have girls? Can you send some to my house? Can you do a party for me? Can you put some at my event? That was the norm. Even though I left that world behind, that was still the request. Maybe that's just how men are. Maybe that's just how men with power are. But I think Erika Kirk would know this, since she's been running in powerful circles and trying to clout chase, I don't know, for decades.
Of March 26, 2014, Jillian tweeted, I just want to be somebody's Woman Crush Wednesday. Is that too much to ask? That evening, she then tweets, thank you at Erika Frantzve for making my whole week. And she shares this photo, and the photo is of a gnome, and it says, I want to be inside your lady garden. Gnome saying, your skin, you're absolutely beautiful. Jillian responds.
So now she's hitting her with your skin, your face, you're so beautiful. You might want to become a model in the future, right? This is how she allegedly, possibly, I don't know, but it sounds to me that these words are recruitment words.
Funds with the crying emoji, you're making me cry.
That she wants a 15-year-old to feel sexy. This particular 15-year-old at this time, what we know based off of Jillian's tweets is that she doesn't have a father in her life. Okay. She tweeted this in June of 2014. I haven't seen my dad over 2 years. The reason why I want to point that out is because Charlie Kirk and I did a lot on the road discussing father absence and how these teenagers and children are instantly more vulnerable to tons of things, getting involved in the wrong networks.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country. It's
a good fact.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from? This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband. If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Creepy.
Another part of the pattern, she's acting or operating as a recruiter for tadpoles. So just want to remind y'all, Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. Don't wait until the last minute, because I most likely will be sold out before Mother's Day. So get your mother-daughter card game now. Mother's Day is coming up. Buy your Mother's Day gift right now. I will be sold out before Mother's Day. I'm telling y'all now. Get your card game. The link is under this video, and the link is in the chat, and the link is pinned at the top of the chat. Get your Mother's Day gift right now. I got them now. They right in front of you. I'm going to sell out. I sold out around Christmas, and a lot of people was mad because I ran out of card games. Hey, it takes a month for me to reorder, so it takes a minute. So get your card games before I sell out. Mother's Day is coming up. Just reminding y'all. Showing y'all the pattern. So let's go back to Baron Coleman and hanging out with Epstein, allegedly in Paris.
Times over several years. He hangs out at the Plaza Athénée many times over several years. This is a fixture for him. Also happens to be only like the 2 places she reviewed that are in hotels.
All right, so let's go a little farther because it gets deeper.
Eliza McCoy came out and said, I can explain this. I was the one buying the suits.
All right, we talked about the I don't want to talk about that part.
This looks bad. So I would expect in the next couple of days, TPUSA to come out and say, I can explain it. I've never met the man. In fact, I would encourage her to do that. I would encourage Erika to say she'd never met him. She'd never interacted with him, never ran in the same circles. To the extent their friend groups overlapped, it was unknown to her. I think that would be a very smart thing for her to say. I'm not calling on her to say it. I'm not demanding she say it. I'm not asking for anything from them. But I think it would be smart. Because this is the type of fact pattern that gets out of control. This is the type of fact pattern that grows. This is the type of fact pattern that keeps people digging into the past, keeps people questioning. And to the extent it goes unaddressed, this is the type of fact pattern that creates real problems for her ability to effectively lead TPUSA. Here are a list of emails from this document. There's Erika.Frantzve at whatever. And we've redacted it because it doesn't matter where it was. Just know it's either a work-related account or Gmail or something like that. Erika at whatever. Frantzve at whatever. And then one is, we don't believe it's associated with her at all. It was a completely different name. I have no idea how it ends up in a report like that. Actually, I don't know that there was a Gmail. I think it was a Yahoo maybe, or a Hotmail or something. But anyway, all of them are unmistakably her because look at the name. It's like hard to reconcile that that's not her. And then I saw this one at the bottom that says Winhaven Group.
Uh-oh.
It's her. I'm telling you guys, if I unredacted that, you would know definitively it's her. I don't want to unredact it because it's possible it's still a live email account. And I don't want to cause her spam or trouble or anything like that. But I'm telling you, I'm vouching for the fact that that is her name in here in some capacity. Maybe a name and a number, but it's her. And I thought, Winhaven Group, the hell is Winhaven Group?
Now we're about to go down a different rabbit hole.
I've never even heard of Winhaven Group.
Winhaven Group.
So I had to go looking for Winhaven Group. I'll come back to that one. And I found where our friend Candace had actually talked about the Winhaven Group before. Here is what our friend had to say, and it will kind of set up a springboard for the rest of the investigation. So listen to what she says here.
Rothstein family. Now, you will remember Erika at this time was living with Nicole Rothstein, and it is a fact that Nicole Rothstein did work in real estate, not at the Corcoran Group, but she has a long career in real estate. She went to school for real estate, and she currently runs her own real estate company. And her father, Alan Rothstein, Erika is extremely close with him. She calls him uncle. He was the chairman, might still be the chairman of Winhaven Real Estate. And
right there. So let me add another connection to the Rothstein family right here.
Erika Kirk, his widowed wife, has risen to become the CEO of Turning Point USA, which is one of the most powerful political groups in the United States.
Shout out to James Lee.
Her past, the modeling, the reality shows, the dating, despite claims to the contrary. But there's something we overlooked last time. The roommate who she mentioned.
What I'll say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was.
So who was this roommate? Well, turns out her roommate is not just some random person. It is actually a family member who is going to unlock for us an entire family tree that upends her well-curated image and potentially expose her connection to a complex network of financial fraud, casino gambling, and foreign influence, allegedly. And before we dive in, I just want to say that everything I'm about to tell you is verifiable. It's in the public domain. You can look it up for yourself. None of it is speculation. This is Erika.
Everybody drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat. Drop popcorn emojis in the chat.
Kirk, then Frantzve, with her roommate at the time, Nicole Rothstein.
Merry Thanksgiving to
So that's the Rothstein last name that is connected to this company. Remember, Rothstein.
you. Merry Thanksgiving to you. Merry Thanksgiving to
And Nicole Rothstein, as it turns out, is her cousin. How do we know that? Well, she responded to this clip featuring Erika Kirk talking about her Shabbat Shaloming. And she responded by saying, quote, as her cousin, who is fully Jewish, half of her family is Jewish. While she herself is a Christian, she has celebrated many Jewish holidays with our side of the family and highly respects the Jewish religion. You can see the name and handle, Nicole Rothstein. Now, I'm glad I archived that because if you go and look for that Nicole Rothstein account right now, I'm pretty sure it's no longer there. Now, Nicole Rothstein's father is a guy named Alan Rothstein, who you could see in this Instagram post is sitting next to her. And Erika Kirk writes, there's something powerful about God's strategic planning when it comes to the people he has surrounding you. How blessed I am to have individuals like Uncle Alan in my life that are filled with spirit. Now, this is where things start to get pretty interesting because the next logical question would be, who is this Alan? Uncle of hers, Alan Rothstein? Well, I was able to find this SEC document that lists one Alan P. Rothstein, and I've confirmed this is person, and describes him as a member of the board of directors of this company called Innumerable, which will come up later, so remember that name. He's also owned another company called Shazoom LLC, remember that as well, a business funding company. And from 2002 through 2007, Mr. Rothstein was the co-founder and chairman of a company called Nano Dynamics Incorporated. Now, it sounds all pretty impressive, but as it turns out, with a little bit more digging, Mr. Alan Rothstein, Erika's uncle, may have been quite the sketchy guy. For Nano Dynamics, it looks like he was sued in bankruptcy court. And from what I'm told, in bankruptcy terms, when a trustee sues a director or a founder like Alan Rothstein, it is believed typically that that person may have taken money out of the company improperly before it collapsed. And then remember the company Innumerable, which he served on the board of directors. That was apparently a penny stock that traded on the OTC markets before also going bankrupt. And then there's this company Shazoom LLC, which if you remember is a business funding company. And
all right, so y'all get the understanding. Alan Rothstein is adjacently connected to the mafia, to the Jewish mafia. So I didn't want to go too far down that rabbit hole, but he is connected adjacently to the Jewish mafia. So let's keep going on this.
Yeah, like I said, this is what she wrote about him.
So this is the company.
Our friend Candace had actually talked about the Winhaven group before.
She loves her Uncle Alan. Now,
loves Uncle Alan. But I don't know if you caught it. She mentioned Winhaven Group. He was the chairman of Winhaven Group. Well, I thought that was an interesting thing. I'd never heard of it. And so we went looking for Winhaven Group. I noticed because Candace said her cousin or friend or whatever she is, Nicole worked at the Winhaven Group. I thought, let's go see if we can find that. And we did. Here is Nicole's work history. This is dated. This is several years ago. I think it ends in 2020.
All right, this is when it gets really crazy.
But Winhaven Group for almost 8 years, rising from real estate.
So when you look at Erika Kirk and her affiliation with real estate, and of course, she never sold a house in her life, it's because of her adjacent relationship with this fake cousin, Nicole Rothstein. She was the one that is in real estate.
Development intern to project development coordinator to project and operations manager to director of asset management, all at the Winhaven Group. That's Nicole Rothstein. That's Alan's daughter, Uncle Alan. Interesting. Well, is there any tie for Erika working there? And what is the Winhaven Group while we're on it? Let's look real quickly because I found out who ran it. It took me a while to track it down. Turns out it's run by a guy named Johnny Winston. Johnny Winston is the CEO at Winhaven Group. I'd never heard of Johnny Winston. He doesn't have very much on his LinkedIn. Just CEO Winhaven Group. So I thought that's weird. You know, if you're going to get on LinkedIn, you might as well put something else on there. Why would you just put one thing on there? But he is the CEO of Winhaven Group. Well, then I thought, well, let me see.
Thank you, Christy, for the Cash App. Thank you, Christy, for the Cash App.
See if I can find anything about this guy. Who is Johnny Winston? at the Winhaven Group. Remember, I'm only interested in it because Erika has a Winhaven Group email address, and she's never bragged about working there. We know she worked at the Corcoran Group. We know she was into real estate.
So keep in mind, all of this came from an email address that Erika Kirk has with the Winhaven Group.
This is her cousin or friend or nephew or niece or whatever she has worked there. Why wouldn't she say she worked there? I don't know. Well, let's
because she doesn't
quickly at who Johnny Winston is. Here is
an article from the.
She doesn't work for the Winhaven Group. She works for the brother of the person that owns the Winhaven Group as possibly a recruiter for EpiPen.
The New York Daily News, mogul accused of bilking mother-in-law of $10 million. A Manhattan real estate developer who once boasted he was going to be bigger than Donald Trump is being sued by his mother-in-law on charges he defrauded her of $10 million. Annette Lorber claims her son-in-law, Jonathan Winston, turned out to be a greedy scoundrel who capitalized on her grief when her husband died to line his own pockets. She claims he realized his dreams to mimic the Donald by abusing his position as her money guru to fraudulently borrow and outright steal from her. Lorber says she trusted Winston to handle her finances when her husband Martin, a shoe mogul, died of cancer in 2000.
Now, listen to this with understanding because he's going to kind of like go out in the weeds on this, but just stay with me. Stay with me. Listen to this and stay with me.
3, never thinking he would rob her blind. He used the gains to amass investment properties from West Hampton to Manhattan. Remember, our friend Erika stayed in a property in Hampton the summer she was on Summer House. I don't know if it was the same house or not. Could have been, could have not been. Even bought a 75-foot yacht. Listen to this, though. Listen to how he got her trust. This is the most scoundrel thing I've ever heard in my life. After marrying Lorber's daughter Eve in 2000, Winston insisted on accompanying his mother-in-law on a pilgrimage to our greatest ally. In a heroic display of affection, he climbed with her to the top of Masada and professed they were now bonded to one another, that he would eternally love her as if she were his own mother, the suit charges. In fact, following the trip, he began affectionately calling Lorber Mom, began to uncover the full extent of the fraud.
This is a fraudulent situation. So he's frauding this woman. And because like I said, he goes a little in the weeds a little bit, but stay with me.
When her daughter contemplated divorcing Winston last year, she learned he'd forced her daughter's name on numerous documents in connection with Winhaven dealings, and then said, I'm not allowed to make any comment. Guys, that's low down and dirty. I can't even begin to contemplate. You prey on the woman's religion. You climb to some, I don't know, I've never heard the mountain, but apparently it's an important mountain over in our greatest allies' territory over there. And he climbs to the top and says, now we're bonded together for life. Give me $10 million. That's crazy. Holy mackerel. So that's who we're dealing with. That's the CEO of Winhaven Group. That was the CEO of Winhaven Group. Now, you might think that's probably the scummiest thing this guy's ever done.
So the correlation is the CEO of Winhaven Group. And the person that was working for Winhaven Group is Erika Frantzve along with Nicole Rothstein. Putting all together. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are keeping up. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all are keeping up because I don't want to miss it. I don't want anybody to be like, wait, what? Who? What?
Surely. No one does anything worse than that. I mean, maybe. Because here we have a New York Times article. Officials say stock scheme raised money for the mob. Investigators who charged 20 people in stock.
Wait, put a 1 in the chat if y'all are keeping up, y'all. Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Just want to make sure y'all are keeping up. Let me see the ones. Because if not, I'll reiterate and slow down. Because this is a lot of information. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure.
Free Scott.
Remember, I talked about the mafia, right? That's the reason why I played the Jason Lee video, because Rothsteins are connected to the mafia, the Jewish mafia.
Alleging the 20 had worked with the Gambino crime family to bilk thousands of investors out of more than $50 million, fraudulently selling stocks at inflated prices and threatening anyone who wanted out. 2 of the principals, Hunter Adams of Atlantic Beach, New York, Michael Ryder, Merrick, New York, are known Gambino associates who actually manage the brokerage houses. The other major participants, not minor players here, major participants in a scheme that is alleged to be with the Gambino family, an alleged scheme allegedly with the Gambino family. The other major participants are Greg Adams, Jason Cohen, Robert Mangiarano, and Jonathan Winston. There's our friend Jonathan Winston.
There you go. There's the correlation. The Colombo crime family and the Gambino crime family are two of the biggest crime families like in history. All of this is adjacently connected to not only Erika Kirk, but Epstein.
I'm assuming it's the same one. Lives in the same place. That's crazy. A $50 million stock fraud scheme with the Gambino crime family. Well, surely, knowing all of this, no one would ever want to have anything to do with this guy. Well, no, this was back in 2001. Like, this was known. All right, well, let's see what else we have here. Who is working at Winhaven? Well, funny you should ask, Alan. It's Uncle Alan. He's the chairman of Winhaven RE. Uncle Alan Rothstein. That's our friend Alan.
Uncle Alan. Uncle Alan
Rothstein right there, the chairman of Winhaven RE. Remember, this is the same Winhaven where Erika has a Winhaven group email address. I'm starting to put together, perhaps, a plausible explanation of why she never mentions this part of her past. That's adorable, lovable Uncle Alan. And we go back, just to remind you, this was on Candace's show here, but I'll show you the screenshot again, unless you missed it. This is Erika with lovable Uncle Alan, the chairman of the Winhaven group, led by Johnny Winston, of allegedly Gambino crime family fame, allegedly of bilking his mother-in-law out of $10 million fame. I can't say that for a fact those things happened. I've not investigated those fully, but the allegations were certainly made the New York papers. I'll say that. He made the New York papers. That's Uncle Alan, the one she loves so much. That's where he works, allegedly. Now, let's go back real quickly because there's an address. We've blacked out as much as we can here, and she doesn't live there anymore, by the way. So it's not like I'm giving away information. You can't harass her here because she doesn't live there. Someone else lives there. She hadn't lived there in almost a decade. But we blacked out some of the information anyway, just in case somebody thought it was a little too close to home. But this is some information we got on this document I received, and this is an apartment at 640 Broadway. Remember where we asked, like, how was she living in New York? It's so expensive during this time. She didn't have...
And she never had a job. So listen to this right here.
Have a real estate license. She didn't have a...
She didn't have a real estate license, but she worked for a real estate company. Make that make sense. It wasn't about real estate. It was about recruitment.
Security that was producing any real income. The proclaimed streetwear was not yet organized. It wasn't yet operational. Like, what was she doing for money? New York is not a cheap place to live. I'll submit to you that this apartment is...
Hey, Tamara.
...is on the market, when it goes on the market, for over $10,000 a month. It's a very expensive place to live. And so you start digging to see who owns this apartment that she supposedly lived in. Well, here's what we find. You'll never guess who owned the apartment. According to Bob Neckall, chairman of the brokerage company.
Uncle Alan owns the apartment that Erika Kirk was living in.
Massey Knockall, who handled the sale with colleague James Nelson. The roughly 63,000 square foot Soho building. This is the building that's 640 Broadway we were just looking at. Purchased by a first-time Manhattan buyer in partnership with an institutional investor. Mr. Knockall, prolific broker of the commercial and multifamily buildings in the city, said he could not disclose the identity of the joint venture because they were his clients and had asked him to remain anonymous. But that's that 640 Broadway. That's the building where we were able to find an address where Erika may have lived at the time. So we dig a little deeper because if someone owns the building, we need to know. Now, it's interesting to know this building is on the corner of Crosby Street and Broadway. It has two addresses, strangely. And if you go to the New York Public Records, you'll find it's an AKA address situation. It'll say 640 Broadway, AKA 172 Crosby Street. Or it'll say 172 Crosby Street, AKA 640 Broadway. So if you see a story, you have to look for both addresses in order to do a thorough research on who owns this property. But you got to answer the question, like, she's living in a very expensive piece of real estate, allegedly. I mean, at least the background report seems to suggest she was. She's living in a very expensive piece of property 10 years ago. There's really nothing on her resume that would suggest she's making any real money. So who owns the building? Like, was somebody letting her live there? Was she, honestly, you look and you're saying, is it related to Jeffrey? I mean, I don't know. We're able to find out. Here is an article after the fact that disclosed who the two buyers were.
All right, y'all ready? This is the ending right here of part one of all of this.
This building. The building at 640 Broadway, also known as 172 Crosby Street, has served as a Tony rental residence for a few years.
This is about to be super crazy, y'all. Drop rabbit hole emojis in the chat. Drop rabbit hole emojis in the chat. Drop rabbit hole emojis in the chat. It's a picture of a rabbit and the picture of the little black hole.
Properties like Al Pacino and Will Smith have previously been spotted scoping out its $35,000 a month penthouse. Well, how is our 28-year-old Erika living here? If Will Smith and Al Pacino are looking at places in that building, how is she living in that building? Acadia purchased 640 Broadway in a joint venture with Winhaven Group, paying $32.5 million. Uncle Alan's group, Winhaven Group, where Erika has an email address at Winhaven Group. Now it's starting to make sense. Now we get an idea of how it was she was able to live there. Again, assuming all the evidence is correct that we've uncovered.
So lastly, I want to show you guys this right here to slow everything down just a little bit, just to make sure everybody is on point. Erika Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein meet in Paris in 2017. So it appears that Erika Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein frequented the same exact super expensive hotels for the exact same reasons or dates, I would say, in Paris, France, on the exact same days. We're looking at the Ritz, and I forgot the name of the other hotel. So on the show today, Baron Coleman showed screenshots of the Epstein files and reviews that Erika wrote under her maiden name, Erika Frantzve, indicating they were both in Paris at the same time and frequenting the same locations and hotels. Erika is also linked to the same exact real estate company. The same real estate company that, we all know. Erika was also linked to the same real estate company and modeling agencies that Epstein frequented in Manhattan. It's all coming out, folks. Brace yourselves. Give it a second. So this is, and what I'm doing now is just a synopsis of this entire show. So as you can see, this is Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files. Good idea. Can you come to the Ritz around 5 p.m. and we'll have tea or some drinks together. And of course, this is all of Erika Kirk's or Erika Frantzve's information, dates, and her documentation of her trip. Date of experience, March 2017. Our main purpose for going was to have tea and a light lunch, just like in the Epstein files. Phenomenal for tea. The Ritz in general never disappoints. Yet there is nothing like the Paris location. This is a top hotel you must visit if you're not staying here. If you're not staying here, that's a key phrase. If you're not staying here, because she didn't stay at the Ritz, she stayed at the other hotel. But she came over to the Ritz, most likely, in my opinion, to meet Epstein. So think about this. She stayed at the other hotel, but she came over to the Ritz to have tea. And on the same date, Epstein was at the Ritz having tea. Just to make sure y'all get an understanding of all of this. April 2017 and March 2017. So most likely it was the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, and the 2nd. I will never have enough amazing things to say. Okay. All right. So that is a synopsis on everything that was talked about, just in case anybody was coming in late and it was just like, yo, who is this? What hotel? Who did what? So I just wanted to give a synopsis. Okay. Put fire emojis if you enjoyed today's show, because some of y'all may not have. So I want to just check, get a good understanding. So put fire emojis in the chat if you enjoyed today's show. And I'm about to play the like button song, so get ready for that. But put fire emojis in the chat if you enjoyed today's show. And I appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me.
Hit the like button. Everybody hit the like.
Oh shit, wrong button. That's a little quick one. Sorry. That one did look weird. That's not the long one. Pause. Here we go. All right, drop fire emojis in the chat, y'all. Let's go.
Everybody hit the like button.
Put your lighters in the air.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got some drop it in the comments. Don't be acting afraid. What? Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. If you got something to say, drop it in the comment. Don't be acting afraid. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know you at. Drop your city. Wet. Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.
So looks like I got a lot of fire emojis, so y'all enjoyed the show. Good. Make sure to click the link in the chat and watch my Erika Kirk playlist. And because some of y'all have not been caught up on my latest videos, so one of the best videos is at the top. So you click it and you'll have a choice of which video you want to watch. You can go watch it now. So drop the link in the chat for my Erika Kirk playlist. I'll drop it again. Go watch another video from my Erika Kirk playlist. If you like this video, you'll love the other videos. So go click the video that you would like to watch and check one of those out. One of my videos are now at almost 300,000 views. I'm proud of that one. So hit the link that says Erika Kirk playlist and watch the video that is now going viral, is almost at 300,000 views. And I appreciate you guys being here. And
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from? This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Everybody.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be?
That we got along better.
Okay.
The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you, my mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized like how hard it is to be a mom. And like when you look back at things that maybe like made you mad at me, you realize like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. I just played this card game with my mom and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.
Bless me and my mother with one of these decks. And I was asking her the questions while we were heading to the airport, and she was asking questions. And I like that there is something in there that really helps you to identify, how do you feel?
How do you feel?
How do you express this? What word could I use? Or et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want to get too much into it because I really think that you guys should check this out. Even in the half hour that we were asking these questions, it created such deeper discussions. I actually remember there was one question, and it was something along the lines of, did my mom ever experience grief that would have allowed her not to be as attentive? And then we started talking about, and that led to like a really cool conversation. And so it was good. And I like it because we were giggling in the car, like talking about these different stories, stuff around Christmas time. Oh, do you remember this? And it just allowed us to be very nostalgic and really take that road down memory lane. So that was, this game is really cool. So I definitely appreciate it. Guys, we're going to connect the link below if you're interested in getting the mother-daughter card game. It's literally like therapy in a box. You get to ask all the questions that you may not have even known that you need to ask, or the conversation you didn't know you needed to have. So,
and the coolest part of this particular card game is, in your situation, your mom lives somewhere else. There's a mother deck and there's a daughter deck. So she was able to bring the mother deck home with her, and you kept the daughter deck. So now y'all can play over the phone or online, right? So you can buy this card game, pull out mom's card game, and ship it to her if she lives in another state.
Yep.
And Mother's Day is coming up. Get your card game. Mother's Day is coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. I'm going to sell out of card games before Mother's Day comes up. So if you want to get your card game, you're like, I'll get it next week. Get your card game before I sell out, because you're not going to have a Mother's Day gift as good as this if you don't get your card game now. So click the link that is in the chat. Click the link that is directly under this video or either over this video and get your mother card game. Let's go. Talk to y'all later, but make sure to click the playlist. Also, I'm putting it in the chat one more time. It says watch my Erika Kirk playlist. Go to that playlist and watch that playlist and have fun. I'm going to play another song. Where's the other song? I think I erased the other song. Oh, forget it. Talk to y'all later. I'm out. I can't find the song.